Are you tired of dealing with toxic people who drain your energy and ruin your peace? What if you could cut ties with them without drama, guilt, or explanations and still keep your integrity intact? Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, Stoicism, an ancient philosophy about mastering your emotions and focusing on what truly matters, has powerful tools to help you do just that. Stick with me until the end of this video and I'll share 7 Stoic ways to cut toxic people out of your life without burning bridges. By the end, you'll feel empowered to make the choices that protect your peace once and for all. The silent retreat. Marcus Aurelius once wrote in Meditations, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This principle highlights the importance of action over words. In the context of dealing with toxic people, silence is not an act of avoidance, but one of deliberate wisdom. By choosing silence, you embody the Stoic ideal of focusing on what is within your control, your actions and responses, rather than being drawn into futile debates or conflicts. The power of choosing inaction. Stoicism teaches us that not every battle is worth fighting. Toxic people often seek to provoke, dominate, or entangle you in their chaos. Engaging with them only feeds the conflict, drawing you further from your sense of calm. By retreating into silence, you choose inaction as a form of action. This isn't about ignoring the problem. It's about stepping away from unnecessary disturbances to preserve your energy for what truly matters. Ask yourself, am I engaging in this argument because it's meaningful or because I feel compelled to respond? What will this person's approval or understanding truly add to my life? Silence as communication. Paradoxically, silence is one of the loudest messages you can send. When you disengage from a toxic person, you show that their behavior no longer holds sway over you. This can be unsettling for them as they lose the control they once wielded. While they might interpret your silence as avoidance or arrogance, you know it's an act of self-respect and emotional mastery. Consider this: silence doesn't need to be understood by others to be valid. Are you at peace with your choice, even if the other person never understands it? Protecting your inner peace. Stoicism values tranquility as one of life's highest goods. Toxic relationships disrupt this peace, clouding your judgment and creating unnecessary emotional turmoil. By practicing the silent retreat, you safeguard your mental space. Your focus shifts from external validation or conflict resolution to your internal state. Silence is not weakness, it's strength in the face of provocation. Like a steady rock in a turbulent sea, you remain unmoved by the waves of negativity. A force for change. The silent retreat isn't just about removing yourself from conflict, it's also about creating space for transformation. Just as a quiet stream can carve through stone over time, your absence can provoke reflection in others. Without your engagement, the toxic person may confront their own behavior. While this is not your responsibility or goal, it's an example of how silence can be a powerful force for change. Reflection. What would happen if you stopped explaining yourself to those who misunderstand you? Could silence help you focus on building a life aligned with your values, rather than reacting to external noise? The silent retreat is more than an act of disengagement. It's a commitment to yourself. It's a recognition that not all battles need to be fought and not all conflicts deserve your time. In silence, you reclaim your power, uphold your dignity, and remain true to the Stoic ideal of inner tranquility. The Ghosting Gambit. Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This wisdom applies perfectly to the modern concept of ghosting, cutting ties without explanation or prolonged engagement. While society often attaches a stigma to ghosting, Stoicism offers a perspective that reframes it. Ghosting is not about malice, but about reclaiming your autonomy and protecting your mental space. Toxic people often draw power from your reactions. They thrive on confrontation, explanations, and the emotional turmoil they stir. Ghosting in its simplest form is a conscious choice to deny them that control. It's an exercise in prioritizing your peace over their expectations. The Stoic logic of disengagement. Stoicism teaches us to focus only on what we can control: our thoughts, actions, and decisions. You cannot control how someone will perceive your silence, nor is it your responsibility to manage their emotions. When you ghost a toxic person, you remove yourself from their sphere of influence. Think of ghosting not as abandonment, but as a quiet withdrawal from negativity. By walking away without explanation, you conserve energy for things that matter: your growth, well-being, and tranquility. when ghosting becomes necessary. While it may feel harsh, ghosting is sometimes the most compassionate choice for yourself. Toxic relationships often involve cycles of manipulation, gaslighting, or emotional drain. Attempting to explain your departure can lead to more arguments, blame, or guilt. In such cases, ghosting is an act of self-preservation. Ask yourself, have I already communicated my boundaries only to see them ignored? Will explaining myself create more chaos or clarity? If the answer leads to further entanglement, ghosting might be the Stoic path forward. Ghosting isn't cruelty, it's clarity. Marcus Aurelius advises, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Ghosting aligns with this principle because it places the focus squarely on your mental well-being. To those who misunderstand, it may appear cold, but in truth, it's about avoiding unnecessary strife. You don't owe everyone an explanation for why you prioritize your peace. How many times have you explained yourself to someone only to feel more misunderstood? Could silence speak more truthfully than words in such moments? The unspoken message of absence. Toxic people often thrive on the illusion of control. Ghosting dismantles this by showing them that their actions no longer have power over you. In your absence, they're left to confront their own behavior or not. Either way, it's no longer your concern. Just as the Stoics remind us to avoid being swept away by external forces, ghosting allows you to avoid being drawn into unnecessary emotional turbulence. Your absence becomes a mirror, reflecting the futility of their attempts to control or manipulate you. Ghosting isn't for everyone or every situation, but when used thoughtfully, it can be a powerful tool for maintaining emotional balance. Remember, you are not obligated to justify removing toxicity from your life. Instead of guilt, embrace the freedom that comes with letting go. If you find yourself in a relationship that drains you, ask, is my continued presence helping me grow, or is it merely enabling more harm? If it's the latter, consider the ghosting gambit as a means to reclaim your peace. Silence, in this case, might be the loudest way to honor your own well-being. The strategic fade-out. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." This sentiment highlights the finite nature of our time and energy, two of life's most valuable resources. Toxic relationships, which drain both, are a glaring example of this waste. The strategic fade-out is a Stoic-inspired approach to reclaiming your time while minimizing conflict. Unlike abrupt disengagements, this strategy involves a gradual withdrawal. It allows you to step away gracefully, without provoking unnecessary drama or confrontation. This is not avoidance, it's an intentional, thoughtful response rooted in preserving your tranquility. Why gradual disengagement works? Toxic people often resist boundaries and thrive on conflict. An abrupt exit can trigger their manipulative tendencies, dragging you into more turmoil. The fade-out minimizes this by reducing your involvement over time, making your absence less noticeable until the relationship naturally dissolves. This approach is particularly effective in situations where immediate confrontation feels overwhelming or unproductive. By slowly retreating, you maintain control over your emotions and interactions, embodying the Stoic principle of deliberate action. Practical steps for a strategic fade-out. Reduce communication gradually. Begin by responding less frequently or with shorter replies. Avoid initiating contact and allow gaps between interactions to widen naturally. Limit availability. Politely but firmly decline invitations or commitments. Use phrases like, "I'm focusing on personal priorities," which signal a shift without inviting further questions. Shift your energy elsewhere. Invest your time in relationships and activities that align with your values and goals. As your focus shifts, the toxic relationship will naturally fade into the background. Stay consistent. Consistency is key. If you occasionally re-engage out of guilt or habit, it sends mixed signals. Stay firm in your resolve to disengage. Aligning the fade-out with Stoicism. The strategic fade-out is deeply Stoic because it prioritizes what is within your control, your time, energy, and actions over external circumstances. It also honors the Stoic principle of apatheia, or freedom from emotional disturbance. By disengaging gradually, you avoid the upheaval of sudden conflict while still reclaiming your peace. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The fade-out empowers you to act thoughtfully, rather than reacting impulsively. How much time and energy have you spent trying to maintain relationships that no longer serve your growth? What could you achieve if you redirected that energy toward your personal goals? The long-term benefits of fading out. When you practice the strategic fade out, you're not just removing a toxic influence, you're creating space for something better. Whether it's a healthier relationship, a new opportunity, or simply more time for yourself, this approach allows you to reclaim your life on your terms. Toxic relationships thrive on your engagement. By gradually withdrawing, you starve them of the attention they demand and reassert control over your own narrative. The process requires patience and discipline, but the rewards, inner peace, and reclaimed time are invaluable. If you feel stuck in a toxic relationship but dread the drama of cutting ties, consider the strategic fade out. Take small steps today to create distance and watch as your energy shifts toward what truly matters. Your peace is worth it. The direct block. Marcus Aurelius, in Meditations, frequently emphasized the importance of guarding one's mind against external chaos. If you lived today, perhaps you'd appreciate the simplicity of the block and unfollow buttons as tools for maintaining mental clarity. The direct block, while a modern invention, perfectly aligns with Stoic principles. It is an act of drawing a firm boundary to protect your peace. Blocking someone is not about hostility or vengeance. It is an intentional decision to remove unnecessary distractions and negativity from your life. This aligns with the Stoic practice of focusing on what you can control, your digital space and mental well-being, while disregarding what you cannot control, the opinions or reactions of others. Why blocking is a Stoic choice? In Stoicism, apathy refers to freedom from emotional disturbance. Toxic relationships, whether personal or digital, often disrupt this tranquility. By using the block button, you assert control over your environment, shielding yourself from unwelcome negativity. Blocking is a proactive step, not a reactive one. It's not driven by anger, but by reason. It's a way of saying, this interaction no longer serves me or aligns with my values. It's the digital equivalent of walking away from an argument that's going nowhere. Ask yourself, am I allowing this person's words or actions to invade my mind unnecessarily? Would blocking them free up mental space for things that truly matter? Addressing the stigma of blocking. Some view blocking as a sign of weakness or immaturity, but Stoicism encourages us to rise above such judgments. Epictetus reminds us, if someone speaks ill of you, do not make excuses, but reply, he must not know my other faults, else he would not have mentioned only these. This wisdom underscores the irrelevance of others' opinions about your choices. Blocking someone is not about how they perceive you, it's about prioritizing your own peace of mind. In a world where digital interactions are constant, the direct block becomes a necessary tool for setting boundaries. By eliminating sources of toxicity, you reinforce the Stoic ideal of focusing on what truly matters. Practical guidelines for the direct block. Recognize the source of negativity. Identify individuals who consistently disturb your mental balance, be it through criticism, manipulation, or constant drama. Reflect before blocking. Ensure your decision is based on reason rather than an emotional reaction. Ask yourself if blocking them aligns with your values and long-term well-being. Block without guilt. Once you've made the decision, execute it without hesitation or regret. Remember, protecting your peace is an act of self-respect. Reclaim your focus. Use the newfound mental space to invest in personal growth, meaningful relationships, or activities that align with your goals. The Stoic value of boundaries. Blocking someone is an act of boundary setting, a concept deeply rooted in Stoicism. Seneca wrote, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you." Toxic individuals, whether in real life or online, do the opposite. They hinder growth, create distractions, and pull you away from your virtuous path. Blocking them is not just permissible. It's necessary for staying true to your Stoic practice. Have you ever hesitated to block someone because you were worried about how they might perceive you? What would happen if you valued your peace over their opinion? The direct block is a modern expression of ancient Stoic wisdom. Protect your mind, prioritize your peace, and disengage from what doesn't serve you. If someone's presence, whether physical or digital, consistently disrupts your well-being, consider this. Blocking them isn't about shutting them out. It's about letting yourself in. Take a moment today to assess your digital environment. Are there individuals whose negativity you've tolerated for too long? If so, don't be afraid to use the tools at your disposal. Remember, peace is priceless and your attention is sacred. Reclaim them both. The Boundary Declaration. Epictetus wisely stated, "Keep company only with people who uplift you." This Stoic principle encourages us to be intentional with our relationships, ensuring that they contribute positively to our lives and align with our values. Toxic individuals, however, often do not respect such boundaries. They may push, manipulate, or challenge the limits we set. But Stoicism teaches us that we cannot control others' actions, only our own responses. The Boundary Declaration is a Stoic tool for protecting your mental peace and emotional well-being. It involves stating clearly and firmly what you will and will not tolerate without the need for justification or lengthy explanations. In essence, it's a direct assertion of your values, giving voice to your commitment to personal growth and integrity. Why boundaries matter in Stoic philosophy? In Stoic practice, the pursuit of tranquility and virtue is paramount. Toxic relationships disrupt this by pulling us away from our virtuous path, often leading us into conflict or emotional distress. By setting clear boundaries, we safeguard our inner peace, focusing only on what is in our control, our thoughts, actions, and responses. Boundaries are not walls to shut others out, but frameworks that preserve your energy and allow you to engage with the world in a purposeful way. The Boundary Declaration reflects the Stoic idea of ataraxia, a state of serene calm. It ensures that no external force, including toxic people, can disturb your inner tranquility for long. The clarity in your boundary setting serves as a protective shield against unnecessary drama or manipulation. The essence of the Boundary Declaration. The Boundary Declaration is not a confrontation. It's a statement of self-respect. It's not about trying to change or control the other person's behavior. It's about protecting your own integrity. For example, saying, "I need to focus on my personal growth and can't continue this dynamic," is a direct and honest communication of your needs. It's simple, it's clear, and it avoids the trap of emotional entanglement. When you state your boundaries without the need for defense, you embody Stoic wisdom. You cannot control how others react to your choices, but you can control your own decisions and actions. Whether the toxic person accepts your boundaries or not is irrelevant. Your declaration is a testament to your commitment to living according to your values and protecting your peace. The benefits of being clear and firm. Being direct and firm with your boundaries has numerous benefits. Self-respect. By articulating your boundaries, you assert that your well-being is non-negotiable. Clarity removes ambiguity and makes it easier for the toxic person to understand that you are no longer willing to engage in unhealthy dynamics. Emotional strength. Setting boundaries is an act of courage. It requires the strength to prioritize your own needs over the fear of others' judgment or rejection. This clarity and strength allow you to stay grounded, as it reduces the mental and emotional clutter caused by indecision or guilt. Why you don't need to justify yourself. In a world where people often feel compelled to explain their decisions, the Boundary Declaration stands as a Stoic act of integrity. There's no need to over-explain your choices or justify your need for peace. To do so would be to invite the toxic person to invalidate your feelings and undermine your decision. Instead, you assert your boundaries with confidence, knowing that you are acting in alignment with your values. As Seneca writes, "No man is free who is not master of himself." The Boundary Declaration is a powerful affirmation that you are the master of your emotional landscape. It's not about pleasing others or seeking approval. It's about honoring your own peace and mental clarity. Have you ever found yourself justifying your boundaries to someone who consistently disrespects them? What would happen if you simply stated them and let your actions speak for themselves? The Boundary Declaration is one of the most empowering Stoic strategies to protect your peace. By clearly stating your limits, you take control of your relationships and ensure that you are not dragged into unnecessary conflict or negativity. Don't wait for permission to prioritize yourself. Your well-being matters. Practice this Stoic strategy and declare your boundaries with confidence. Take a moment now. Is there a toxic relationship in your life that requires a firm boundary? Don't delay, declare it, and step into a life of greater peace and intentionality. The polite but firm goodbye. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, often emphasized the importance of maintaining dignity in all situations. He wrote, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This quote serves as a reminder that we control our reactions and responses, no matter the situation. When cutting ties with toxic people, doing so with grace and composure reflects your mastery over your emotions. The polite but firm goodbye is a Stoic way to exit a toxic relationship without animosity or drama. Rather than engaging in arguments or feeling pressured to explain yourself, this approach involves making a clean, respectful exit that maintains your integrity. It's a way to assert your boundaries clearly, while refusing to be dragged into the emotional turmoil the toxic person might seek. The power of composure. Stoicism teaches that the only true power we have lies within ourselves, specifically in our ability to manage our own thoughts and emotions. A toxic individual might try to provoke a reaction, but by staying calm and composed, you deny them that power. The polite but firm goodbye is about walking away without surrendering to anger, guilt, or the need for validation. This approach prevents you from descending into petty exchanges or emotional exchanges. Instead, it leaves you with the peace of knowing that you acted with integrity, regardless of how the other person behaves. The Stoic ideal here is to maintain your character, no matter how others choose to act. How many times have you reacted emotionally to someone who sought to provoke you? How would it feel to walk away from that same situation with calmness and control? The anatomy of a polite goodbye. A polite but firm goodbye isn't about appeasing the toxic person. It's about closing the door on the relationship in a way that reflects your values. It's a statement of finality without bitterness. Here are some key elements of this Stoic approach. Clear, concise communication. Instead of lengthy explanations or drawn-out justifications, keep your words simple and direct. For example, I've realized that this relationship is no longer healthy for me. I wish you the best moving forward. No blame or accusation. A Stoic response avoids shifting blame. Rather than focusing on the toxic person's flaws, focus on your own needs. This shows that you're not looking for conflict, but for peace. Maintaining respect. Even when the relationship has been harmful, showing respect in your goodbye maintains your integrity. The goal isn't to hurt the other person, but to express your decision in a calm, clear manner. Firmness without hostility. The key to the polite but firm goodbye is firmness in your decision to leave. You do not owe the person any further engagement, nor do you need to defend your decision. The farewell is decisive but devoid of animosity. A Stoic exercise in emotional control. The polite but firm goodbye is not just about exiting a toxic relationship. It's also about practicing emotional self-control. Stoicism teaches that we should be unaffected by external circumstances, especially the behavior of others. When you can walk away from a toxic situation without anger, guilt, or frustration, you've successfully practiced the Stoic principle of apatheia, freedom from emotional disturbance. By staying composed, you demonstrate the ability to rise above the negativity without allowing it to define you or your actions. This allows you to leave the relationship with your dignity intact and your energy unscathed. If you're facing a difficult goodbye with someone toxic, consider adopting the Stoic approach. Take a moment to craft a clear, respectful, but firm statement of your departure. By doing so, you'll not only protect your peace, but also demonstrate the strength of your character. In the end, it's not about how others perceive you, but about how you maintain your integrity. The philosophical shift. One of the core teachings of Stoicism is to view situations and people as they truly are, not as we wish them to be or as we fear they are. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, advised us to look at the world with clarity and reason. The things you think are bad are not bad. The things that happen are just part of the natural order of the universe. When it comes to toxic people, this perspective shift can be liberating. Instead of immediately labeling someone as toxic or harmful, the Stoic practice encourages us to observe their actions without judgment. They are not inherently bad. They simply act in alignment with their character, which may be influenced by past experiences, their personal struggles, or their mindset. As a Stoic, you recognize that their behavior is a reflection of who they are, not necessarily an attack on you. Detaching emotionally through reframing. When someone's actions or words trigger negative emotions in us, it's easy to feel hurt, offended, or frustrated. But Stoicism teaches that these emotional reactions are within our control. The philosophical shift is a Stoic technique where we consciously reframe our perception of others. Instead of focusing on how their actions are wrong or toxic, we choose to see them as expressions of their current state. This allows us to detach emotionally from the situation. Imagine someone repeatedly criticizing you or undermining your efforts. Instead of getting upset or defensive, a Stoic response would involve recognizing that their behavior stems from their own insecurities or lack of understanding. They are doing the best they can based on their knowledge and experiences, and that knowledge is often clouded by their emotional baggage. This reframing helps you to separate yourself from the situation. Their actions are not about you, they are about them. By detaching emotionally from their behavior, you can avoid taking it personally. This perspective frees you from resentment or bitterness, empowering you to let go of the relationship without any negative emotional ties. The power of acceptance. The Stoic idea of amor fati, love of fate, also plays a crucial role in this shift. This concept invites us to accept things as they are, including the actions of others, without resistance or judgment. By embracing the reality that people are acting from their own nature, rather than reacting with anger or frustration, we open ourselves to a more peaceful and accepting mindset. It's crucial to understand that acceptance doesn't mean condoning harmful behavior. It simply means acknowledging that people act within their nature, influenced by factors outside our control. In doing so, we remove the emotional weight of trying to change them or hold them accountable for their behavior. We let them go not out of anger, but out of recognition that they are who they are, and we are not bound to engage with them if it no longer serves our peace. Why this shift frees you? The philosophical shift creates emotional freedom. When you stop labeling others' behaviors as toxic and instead see them as expressions of their nature, you take the power back. You stop giving away your energy by reacting emotionally or trying to fix people who are not ready to change. By reframing the situation, you detach from the drama. You no longer feel obligated to prove something or justify your actions. You are simply living according to your own values, free from the emotional turmoil that toxic individuals often bring. This kind of emotional detachment doesn't mean indifference. It means maintaining your peace while accepting that others may not be on the same path. How often do you let the behavior of others dictate your emotional state? What might it feel like to release the need to change or fix people and simply accept them as they are? The Stoic wisdom of letting go. In the end, the philosophical shift is about liberation, the freedom to release toxic relationships without bitterness or regret. Stoicism encourages us to focus on what is within our control, our thoughts, actions, and responses. By recognizing that the actions of others are part of the natural order of things, we can choose to let them go without resentment. This shift allows you to preserve your peace, protect your emotional energy, and avoid unnecessary suffering. You no longer feel trapped by the actions of others. Instead, you free yourself from the weight of toxic relationships by accepting the reality of who people are and choosing to step away with grace and wisdom. If you're feeling weighed down by toxic relationships, try adopting the philosophical shift. The next time someone's actions trigger frustration, pause and reflect, this is their nature, not mine. By letting go of the emotional attachment, you can make space for healthier connections and cultivate a life that aligns with your true values. As Stoics, we strive to live with purpose, clarity, and peace. Toxic relationships disrupt these principles, but disengaging doesn't have to be a source of guilt or conflict. By applying the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, you can cut ties without unnecessary drama or explanation. Remember, your time and energy are limited resources. Protecting them is not selfish, it's essential for living a virtuous life. Which of these methods resonates with you? Reflect, act, and reclaim your peace. Stoicism isn't just a philosophy, it's a way to master your life. Now that you know how to gracefully let go of toxic relationships using Stoic wisdom, it's time to put it into practice. Which of these 7 Stoic strategies resonates with you the most? Whether it's setting boundaries, maintaining composure, or reframing your perspective, remember, your peace of mind is non-negotiable. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more Stoic insights to improve your life. And in the comments below, share your experiences. Have you used any of these methods, or is there a strategy you'd like to try? Let's continue this conversation and support each other in building stronger, more peaceful lives. Keep living with purpose, and as always, stay stoic.